Alright, today I'm going to be reviewing Lil B's Barbershop. So right off the back, looking at your cut, Lil B, your cut is really good. Like looking at it, everything is so consistent. I'm looking at the drop fade right now and the drop fade is flawless. What I really want to cover on your haircut is that I like the fact that you really paid attention to the silhouette of the fade. You really understood where to place your fade at and how to give them the proper silhouette throughout the whole thing. And what I mean by that is that your first guideline began right at the bottom, and you kept that same consistent guideline going all throughout the head. And then you made your next section all throughout the head. You kept every single section and guideline parallel to your first initial guideline. And that's really good. Like I said, that's the hardest thing that I feel barbers struggle on nowadays, is making sure that their sections and guidelines stay consistent throughout the whole thing. And even with the top, like around this area right here, this is always the hardest to fade into, especially with this type of haircut that you did on him. His hair texture looks like it's a little bit coarse, a little bit thicker. So the moment you cut his hair texture a little bit shorter, it would start poking out. But you debulked, it looks like you debulked with maybe a number 4, number 5, and that allowed the hair to really stay down to keep the bend in the hair. So that was really good knowledge on your part on knowing how to make the hair stay down. And then, but like overall, like this is a great haircut. All right, let's move on to your next haircut that you submitted. So right at the back, what really stands out on this haircut for me is the crown area. He's got a really strong swirl in the back, a really strong cowlick, whichever one you like to call it, but it's very strong. But even then, I feel like you did a really good job on making sure the hair had enough bend in it to be able to lay down. And this is a perfect example of why it's so important to really be able to read the hair and really understand what hair likes to do. So whenever I cut the crown on somebody, the first thing that I usually do whenever I cut the crown is that I really make sure that I examine and watch which way the hair is going to grow. In this circumstance, the hair, man, a little rough. The hair on your client grows in a strong swirl. So if I were to section that off, I would literally section this part off, this into different sections. So I would have ended up with like maybe 3 different sections, and I would have did a 90-degree right off the head and cut it right there. The only thing we're really missing, what I feel like is missing, is some extra length within this area to really fill in the little spot in the back to really extend the head shape. But other than that, once again, it all goes into preference on clients. Some clients may not want to keep that weight in the back. And on this instance, like it works for him. Like the drop fade, because you kept it so dark, it worked pretty well. But I think that's something that I would want to see, a little bit more weight right here. That way it can give him a nice square silhouette instead of being slanted in. But overall, really good fade. And on this one, like even your bottom guideline is pretty much gone. So like I can't even see the bottom guideline. So really good job, Lil B's. I'm going to keep on reviewing more and more haircuts. So make sure you keep submitting, and thank you for subscribing. Look. That's kind of heavy. I'm going to throw it. You learn anything on that thing?
Yeah, then I hate doing things.
Can you guess what it is?
You didn't let me shake it. Let me touch it.
Any idea?
Something that goes on the wall.
Nah. Any idea? It's just one of the little foam things, so it reduces the noise. Are you guessing what this is? Yeah.
Carter, bro, you working today or what?
What's it look like? Yes, I'm working.
No, you're not. Just because you're sitting behind the chair doesn't mean that.
Oh yeah, see my lineup? You see my hairline?
Carter, let's take a look at yours.
Malia, let me see your hairline.
You got a straight hairline?